All right, so this one we're asked to solve the triangle. So whenever they say solve the triangle, you need to find all 3 side lengths and all 3 angles. So the angles are the capital letters. So this would be like A, B, and C will always be 90 degrees. Okay. And then the side lengths will be the lowercase letters A, B, and C. So this would be equal to C. And it's the side across from the angle. So if angle A is here, then this is lowercase a. If angle B is here, then this is lowercase b. And that's kind of review from geometry. Do you guys remember that from geometry? Okay. So that's a review from geometry. So we're also told that B is 39 degrees. Now remember that A and B are always complementary, so they have to add up to 90. So to find A, I just say 90 minus 39. Okay. And if you're, listen, plug it in the calculator. I can do it in my head, but I always make mistakes when I try to do stuff in my head. So can I write it out on a piece of paper and do it by hand? Yeah, I can. Can I do it in my head? Probably. Maybe. But I like to plug it in the calculator. There's something about plugging it in the calculator that slows my brain down and lets me do it one step at a time. Now we're also given that C is equal to 11.1. Now what I like to do when I go to do these next steps is I like to use the stuff that's been given to me. The stuff I know is correct. Because I might have made a mistake up here. And so if I use this number and I made a mistake, all this other stuff will be wrong. So now I need to think in terms, what are the side lengths with regard to the angle that's been given to me, B? Well, if I'm focusing on the angle B, technically B is the opposite side and A is the adjacent. Okay? And C is the hypotenuse with regards to angle B. Okay? So if I want to find A and I'm given C, technically I have the adjacent and the hypotenuse and I want to solve for the adjacent. Well, that's cosine, isn't it? In other words, cosine of 39 degrees is equal to the adjacent, right, which is lowercase a, all over the hypotenuse, which is 11.1. So this all goes back to SOHCAHTOA. I'm deciding my trig function based on what I have and what I want to know. I have the hypotenuse, so I'm probably not going to use tangent. I have to use the trig functions that have the hypotenuse in it because that's what they gave me. Okay? So now I multiply both sides by 11.1. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Now you have to remember that cosine of 39 degrees is a number. These cancel. And A is equal to 11 times cosine of 39 degrees. So I could just say, but I got to be in degree mode. See this little thing right here? It says radian. So I got to go to mode, come down here, put it in degree mode. Hit enter, then hit quit. Now I'm going to say 11.1 times cosine of 39. Hit enter. It's about 8.6, what was it? Let's say 6.3. Oh, and I shouldn't use an equal sign because I rounded, right? So I should say approximately. And same thing up here. These are going to be approximate values because I'm probably going to have some crazy decimals. So this thing right here is going to be approximately 8.63. Now to solve for B. B is the opposite, so I kind of got to do the same thing, except now I'm going to say sine. Sine of 39 degrees should be equal to the opposite, which is lowercase b, all over the hypotenuse, which is 11.9. So I'm going to say 11.1, or not 11.9, 11.1 times sine of 39 degrees. I know the bell's going to ring soon. Let's plug it in the calculator and go. 11.1 times sine of 39, 6.99. So this is 6.99. And that's it. If you wanted to double check that, you could do the Pythagorean theorem and it should equal.